is always present, nowhere to be. Then where you are, the power of now flows oh so gracefully. The power of now is always perfect, nothing to be. Then who you are, the power of now flows oh so easily. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now is ever flowing, connecting the soul to the one. The power of now unfolds so peacefully. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now. The power of now. The power of now.
Good morning, Value UU. This is Laura Gustafson, your Congregational Administrator, and these are your Sunday morning announcements. We will be having Flower Communion on May 1st and May 2nd. Please check the happenings for all the details on that. The Earth Day contest is still ongoing. There's still time to enter. Please feel free to enter your own ideas, not just the ones provided, and you can find that in the happenings. April 28th is the last day for phone banking with UU Jazz. So if you are interested in doing some phone banking, please look down in the UU Jazz section. For all other information on the community happenings, please go to the website and click on the weekly happenings link. Thank you.
I think it's yet again a beautiful day in the neighborhood that is Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm Fred Wooden, interim minister in this time between ministers amid pandemics, a time of change that is both exciting and scary. But when was change ever not both exciting and scary? That's why every 7 days, since time out of mind, people like us have stopped and looked and listened to the world without and the world within to worship. This is the pulse of our spirit, to exhale the world every Sunday morning, to take a breath that has no purpose or profit, but just for the savor of breathing, and refresh our souls with the promise that it all matters, every bit of it, even if we cannot say exactly why. With that bit of mystery in our breath, with that thought in our heart, I invite our worship associate, Mary Rothschild, to begin our time of worship by lighting the chalice.
Hello, everyone. Those of you who have a chalice, bring it near, and we'll say our chalice lighting words together as soon as they're on the screen. We kindle this flame, symbol of our faith, for the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of love, which calls us to work for justice. Haley is going to join us now to talk about pastoral care and do the time for all ages. But I don't quite see her. She says she's unable to unmute herself. Can our tech gurus help her? Yes, now she's a co-host. Welcome, Haley.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Mary. I am the Faith Formation Assistant here at Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation. And if you have any children in your house today, now is the time to call them in front of your device. This week's pastoral care associate is Ross Hawkins. You can reach them via email at pastoralcare@vuu.org. To send a private Zoom chat, you may click on their name in the message window, but please remember that the chat is restricted during prayer and meditation as well as the sermon. So please feel free to post or chat your joys and concerns before or after those parts of the service. And for today's Time for All Ages, as we're discussing many factors of how to navigate community, especially at VUU, this is a story about love, a virtue we should hold on to when being a part of a community.
Love by Matt de la Pena, illustrated by Lauren Long. In the beginning there is light, and two wide-eyed figures standing near the foot of your bed, and the sound of their voices is love. A cab driver plays love softly on his radio, while you bounce in the back with the bumps of the city, and everything smells new, and it smells like life. Love, too, is the smell of crashing waves and a train whistling blindly in the distance, and each night the sky above your trailer turns the color of love. In a crowded concrete park, you toddle towards summer sprinklers, while the older kids skip rope and run up the slide, and soon you are running among them, and the echo of your laughter is love. On the night the fire alarm blares, you're pulled from sleep and whisked into the street, where a quiet old lady is pointing to the sky. Stars shine long after they flamed out, she tells you, and the shine they shine is with love. But it's not only stars that flame out, you discover. It's summers too, and friendships, and people. One day you find your family nervously huddled around the TV. But when you ask what has happened, They answer with silence. They shift between you and the screen. In your dream that night, you are searching for a love that seems lost. You open and close drawers, lift cushions, empty old toy bins, but there's nothing. You wake with a start in the arms of a loved one who bends to your ear and whispers, "It's okay, it's okay, it's love." And in time, you learn to recognize a love overlooked, a love that wakes up at dawn and rides to work on the bus, a slice of burnt toast that tastes like love. And it's the love in each deep crease of your grandfather's face as he lowers himself onto the overturned bucket to fish. And it's love in the rustling leaves of gnarled trees lying behind the flower fields. And it's love in the made-up stories your uncles tell in the backyard between wild horseshoe throws. And the man in rags outside the subway station plays love notes that lift into the sky like little tiny beacons of light. And the face staring back in the bathroom mirror, this too is love. So when the time comes for you to set off on your own, heavy winds will sweep past your building, and great gray clouds will congregate above. Your loved ones will stand there like puddles beneath their umbrellas, holding you tight and kissing you and wishing you luck. But it won't be luck you'll leave with, because you'll have love. You'll have love, love, love.
Thank you, Haley. What a wonderful story. And thank you, kiddos, for being with us. Good morning. My name is Katie Seifert, and I'm the Director of Music Ministries here. Let's join together now in song through the amazing power of virtual means to sing a song by Faith Rivera, Coming Together. It's a call and repeat, so you're invited to sing along, get up and dance, or enjoy how you enjoy the music. The pictures in this video are taken of many of you, our congregants and our members, during a rock ceremony last year. Let's once again come together.
We're rolling. I got love, I got love, I got peace, I got peace, I got joy, I got joy, like a river. I got love, I got love, I got peace, I got peace, I got joy, like a river.
Good morning and welcome to Valley Unitarian Universalist Congregation on this beautiful spring Sunday morning. I'm Mary Rothschild, your worship associate, and I want you to know how very happy I am that you've joined us on Zoom today. Whoever you are, whatever your background, however you define yourself and your family, whoever you choose to love, and whether you are a techie or so not, you are welcome here. Today's service is going to be unlike any we've had before, at least in my time here. And it's going to call on all of us to take part. In lieu of the sermon, we will have 2 breakout sessions where we'll all take part in an appreciative inquiry about VUU in very small groups, each with a facilitator. I think it will be fun, and I hope we'll all learn a lot about what VUU means to us and what we value about VUU. Now, for those of us, and I feel fairly sure there may be some of us who are now thinking, excuse me, I didn't sign up for this. I beg you to join in anyway, grumbling softly if you must, because this is about gathering information about VUU that will help us search for our new minister. And there's almost nothing more important for VUU these days than getting the congregation's views on what we value, what we want, and where we are. As many of you know, I'm a member of the Ministerial Search Committee, along with 6 other stalwart VUUers, and I think our committee is strong and working hard, but we're working for you. And only when we know from all of you what we want as a congregation can we move ahead with our search. Now, you will have 3 big chances to help us. Today's breakout groups, considering what we value, the survey we are making, which we'll email to all of you in a couple of months, and the cottage meetings, probably most of which will be on Zoom, but maybe a few actually outside in person, be still my heart, where we'll talk together about what we want, what we wish for, and what is essential for our future together. As our principles say, we're all in this together in an interconnected web, and our committee can only do our job successfully by having your input and vision. What do we get from your ideas? We get a vision for our future. It reminds me of the poet Marge Piercy's poem, To Be of Use, which has been a North Star for me for years. The last verse is this: the work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the job worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry and a person for work that is real. We have real work to do today, real work that will help make our search for a new minister successful. So please join us and be part of our process. And while you are doing this, know that we are all so happy you've joined us today. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Mary. Mary was on the small team that selected the interim minister. So thank you, Mary, for helping me come to you. So she knows what's going on, but she's not alone. You all do. And as she said, this is an unusual Sunday. I'm not preaching this week. You are, to each other. It is your message that we are discovering today, but we're doing it through a process called appreciative inquiry. What does that mean? Well, it means that we look for our best selves. We can always find problems. Who doesn't have a problem? But we forget our best selves are always present, even in our toughest moments. Last week, if you were here, I talked about the importance of being a 3-dimensional faith, one with a sense of spiritual depth, of intellectual breadth, and of historic length. These keep us, or any spiritual movement, from being religiously shallow, intellectually narrow, and historically ignorant. I also said that my task in this transitional liminal time is to cultivate those 3 dimensions. And we have. We've remembered your story as a community, not just the names and dates, but the moments that you remembered and put them together in a presentation that enriched your sense of who you are and who we are. You shared your experiences. And now we're going into the next dimension, the depth dimension, which in transitional times means connecting with your transcending values, the stuff from which you draw your deepest strength, those qualities and ideals that have been part of VUU from the beginning. To do that requires you, as many of you as possible, for the transcending values are not named so much as lived. The same James Luther Adams I talked about last week coined a phrase I've used my whole career, the temperature test of faith, which means those moments when you find yourself rising up in protest or defense or in celebration without even thinking. It's automatic. Whatever raises your spiritual temperature is a sacred thing to you and to this community. But what that is may not be obvious until you felt the feeling. So that's the place to start, with experiences of rising up. And what we have learned over time is that the most powerful experiences are not the negative ones, but the positive ones. This approach, as I said, is called appreciative inquiry. It is not a system, it's an attitude of gratitude, as some might say. The principle behind it is that we all have strengths, and future success and strength grows from past success and strength. They depend on what Howard Thurman called moments of high resolve. In a moment, you'll be sent to a breakout room with a facilitator and no more than 4 other people. The facilitator will ask you each to name a time when VUU was at its best. Each of you will have a turn. Then you will be asked to say what you personally value most about VUU. Listen to each other, appreciate each other, and resist that UU temptation to discuss everything. That's another day, but not today. We will regather after about 15 minutes, and we'll take a pause, a prayerful pause, in fact. Now, if you're not a member of VUU, you may join a breakout group, certainly. But if you prefer not to do that, I'll be here in the main room, here in the sanctuary, and you can visit with me if you like. One way or the other, you too are a valued part of this process. And so if you're ready, and I'm looking to all my facilitators now, I'm so glad that they've agreed. They've all been through the process before, and I think we've got you all assigned. So I'm going to, not yet? Are we getting there?
Yes.
Well, okay, so I have to vamp until ready. There you go. Which gives me an excuse. Last fall, as we were doing our annual campaign for your pledge, I promised that if you, as a giver, gave $120 more this year than last year, or if you started giving and never gave before at a similar level, you could have your very own VUU marked mask, and they are here. Some of you have come to collect them already, but many of you have not. And if you're jealous and you would like to have one, it will be a keepsake. It will be a keepsake, a collectible. You can contact me about making a donation, about getting your own. We have a few extras. So if you haven't made that pledge, if you made the pledge and you raised it, this is your opportunity to get in on the ground floor of your own VUU COVID mask. There's a good commercial, isn't there? So are we closing in, Ms. Libby? We're getting there. It's hard. We have a bunch of people who are trying to do this. So let's remember, I want you to think now, all of you, think now of a moment, a time when you observe VUU at its best. That is, from your perspective, something that touched you and said, this is the community I believed in. So I'm waiting to get you all in place. I guess there are a bunch of you today, and that's great. Yeah, she's got to do a bunch individually. So how much more do we need to do, Ms. Lib? Okay. Breakout rooms. Okay. That's because, Jerry, that's because we weren't quite ready. So we're going to hold off a little bit. So you know what? I wonder, Blake, if you can hear me, that first hymn we sang was so cool. I wonder if we could cue that up and listen to it again. And while that's happening, we can go to breakout rooms. Is that possible, Blake?
Yeah. Are you talking about Power of Now or Coming Together?
Coming together.
Coming Together. Okay, cool. Yeah.
We're rolling. I got love, I got love, I got peace, I got peace, I got joy, I got joy like a river. I got love, I got love, I got peace, I got peace, I got joy like a river. One heart, one mind, one love, flowing like a river. I got hope, I got strength, I got faith, to move every mountain. I got a hope, I got strength, I got faith, to move every mountain. One heart, one mind, one love, move every mountain. I got you, I got me, I got us, coming together. I got you, I got me, I got us, we're coming together. One heart, one mind, one love, coming together. We're coming together. Coming together. We're coming together. We're coming together. Yeah, we're coming together. Coming together. Yeah, we're coming together. We're coming together. Oh, one heart, one mind, one love, coming together. I got you, I got me, I got us, coming together. Yeah, I got you, I got me, I got us, coming together. One heart, one mind, one love, coming together. We're coming together. We're coming together. Yeah, we're coming together. We're coming together. We're coming together. We're coming together. Yes, we're coming together. We're coming together. Yeah, one heart, one mind, one love, coming together. One heart, one mind, one love, coming together. One heart, one mind, one love, coming together.
Okay. And we're back. Can you get my microphone up there, Mr.? All right. So we're almost there. You're a lot of people. This is great. It's just taking a little longer than we expected because we want to make sure everybody has a facilitator. So we're taking a little extra time, but once you're in this group, we can go back to them later when we need to. I'm glad for all the stuff. We left our room. Someone says no one else was there. It will be populated. It will be populated. So if you get an invitation, go there and stay there, okay? Because other people will be joining you, okay? All right. I get a thumbs up from the other side of the room. How we doing?
A bunch of people left their rooms because there was nobody else there, so now I have to put them somewhere else.
Well, they have that little, if you have a little sign in your screen that says join a breakout room, that should give you entry to one of them at least, correct? Okay, if there are too many people in a room, message out, then you can leave that room, come back into the main room, and we will put you in another one. This is what experimenting looks like. Anyone remember the story about Thomas Alva Edison, who went through over 1,000 different filaments, and every time one didn't work, he said, hey, now we know that one doesn't work. So that's what we're doing. We're discovering ways that work and ways that don't. Okay, I'll trust you now, people.
Well, yeah, they keep moving around and now that those things that they're not in their own room, but they just haven't joined their own.
Some of the facilitators were assigned to the to different rooms. So now I'm going back and making sure that they're lined up with the room that's named after you.
Hey, Blake, are you putting people in rooms?
I am.
Okay. I think I may have been competing against you. I didn't realize you were doing that.
As long as we're both covering, like putting people in the rooms that have their names, the facilitators, then it's okay. We're not competing against each other. We're solving the same problem.
Right. And I'm showing Barb Quijada is in her room but hasn't joined it.
Yeah, because so she was in the same room as Pam Swan, who was in Barb's room. I moved Pam to her own room just now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what about is Barb Face there? Does she have a name?
Yeah, she was listed as Barbara. She should have her own room now.
Oh, okay. Because I created one, but I couldn't find it a minute ago.
And I'm not sure.
Oh, there it is. I see it, but there's nobody in her room.
Maybe leave it alone. Is there I thought there was a, okay.
I think everybody should be in a room now.
still don't have a room.
Okay, I don't see Evan. Oh, Angela and Ella need to be put in a room. Put her in with Barb Face. Evan, I don't see you on the list.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Pat's in a room by herself in Carl Anderson's room. He's not in the right room right now.
Who is Pat Flahart is in Carl Anderson's room, but he's not there.
Yeah, right. Carl Anderson's in a different room. He's in Linda's room, which Linda's assigned to a room, but she's not in it right now.
Who, Linda Stenholm or Linda Horton?
Horton.
Oh, okay.
So Linda Horton's in the right room, but she's not there. Carl
Oh,
is
there's
there,
yeah,
but he's
there's
not in his
Patricia.
room. I'm gonna move Pat to the room that has Carl in it right now. Or that has, I
Or
guess,
let's
that
move
has
Carl
Barb.
to this room.
To Barb's room. Barb doesn't have a room, but she should have a room.
Yes, she does. I saw it a minute ago.
Barb, you are facilitating a breakout room. You are assigned to it right now. It just says you're not joined. I'll move Pat to your I'll move Pat to your room.
Did we put Carl in his room?
There's nobody in the room called Carl Anderson.
No, I'm leaving him there because Linda's not there. Thank you everyone for your patience. Okay, let's see.
Oh, Barb Face is not in a room.
Barbara Face.
Okay. Is there anybody in her room?
It says that they also
Nope.
can't seem to unmute ourselves. Dennis McLeod said.
Just one Barbara is in a room.
Hmm?
Never mind. I'm trying to figure out who we need to.
Oh, we got Angela and Ella and hasn't joined. Barb just joined. I haven't even had a chance to start the timer, so it's probably been 10 minutes. Right.
Barb Quijada says she's not in any room.
I put her in her own room.
Yeah, you do have a Barbara Quijada, you do have a room. You are assigned to one with that has Pat, Margaret, and someone else right now. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can move you and then move you back. But I'm not there. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna move you to a different room for a second and then back to your original room. So don't click on that. Okay, try now.
No, everybody's assigned.
So what happens is when people leave their breakout rooms, they lose the invitations back into their breakout rooms.
Yeah, some people haven't joined, but everybody's assigned to a room now.
Or if they leave, they lose the invitation. So we need to rebroadcast.
Like Roberta Baker is, she's under the list of participants.
With Carl Anderson, she needs to move to her own room. We need to put Roberta Baker in her room. I just did.
So right now, everybody who's, like, right now we have, nobody's allowed to unmute themselves. I don't know if that applies to
The breakout rooms should be set up so that everybody can unmute
I just saw a
themselves.
message, somebody was saying that. I don't know what that is.
Blake, we've got people saying they can't unmute themselves, but I said
That's in the
it,
main room.
the breakout.
That's
Oh.
I think they're talking about in the main room, not it.
Oh,
Who's about here?
okay. I can set the main room so that people can.
Here, what I want to do is I'm going to make every facilitator I can find in this main room a co-host, because that will give everyone power.
I just allowed everybody in the main room to unmute
Breakout
themselves.
room keeps sending me back.
You want to say? I want to say hi, Jim. Hi. Hi, Jim.
Hello.
Hi, Ella.
Hi, Ella.
I am unmuted. Every time I got an invitation, I answered it and it plopped me in and then plopped me back.
Oh, wow.
I'm supposed to.
Hi.
We went into
Should it be-
Carl Anderson's room, but nobody else was there, so we left because we waited a while and no one came. So we came back here and now we're stuck in.
Okay. Do you want me to lead this leftover group in the questions while you guys work on things? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Does that sound okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do that. So.
We like leftovers.
Lots of times to think of, you've had lots of opportunities to think about what you want to share. We're not supposed to interrupt you while you're sharing. So when you are done sharing, please say, I'm done. Okay. All right so far? Okay. Rich Bittner, your turn.
And the question was, it was a long time ago when I heard the question.
Name
was the most memorable moment, right?
Hang on, let me read it. Name a time when the congregation operated or performed really well. What were the circumstances? What was your part and how did you feel about it? You can start talking and tell me when you're done talking.
Well, I don't think that was what was posed before exactly. So it was more like the most memorable time, which we couldn't. I would say earlier on, when James Ismail Ford was our minister, I was just involved in some of the church finances as well as being on the ministerial committee.
And you better not miss one or else you got to.
And a lot of things were starting to happen with social action that seemed to be dwarfed by what's going on in terms of the energy and the multitude of things happening. But I'd go back to somewhere in the James Ford regime when we were in the old church. I'm done.
Okay, Mary Jo, your turn.
I would say we were at our best when we made our move from the old church to the new church and got our new church, and the enthusiasm and the excitement when Luna joined us and we did all of that. I think we were definitely at our best in terms of kind of positive enthusiasm. I'm not saying better than any other time. I'm just saying that is a time when we were at our best, when we made that big move and we made that big investment and we all came together as a really, joint community. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you. Angela, when was the best time you can think of at VUU?
I would have to say the best time at VU would have been maybe about 6 months before Andy left. So I really felt like things were taking off, starting to take off. So, but and I still feel like we still have a long way to go. I feel like we yeah, we definitely have a bright future ahead of us. So I'm done.
Okay. Jim Horton.
Well, I think the thing that most impressed me is our search for a new minister, the way the congregation came together for that in all of the meetings that we put together, all the surveys that we did. And then when we had the call, it was unanimous and everybody was overjoyed with that. I think that was the most impressive time for me. Done.
Roberta Baker, go ahead.
Unmute yourself.
No, she's not. Oh, no, she is.
Hi, Linda.
Okay.
I just joined this. I'm supposed to be leading in place of Rebecca, who is
Well,
ill
it's okay.
this morning.
We're just working it out. Tell me, share something with us about
Okay.
what you remember.
What I remember about being a VUU, the best thing.
Yeah.
Best thing. Oh, the wonderful people and the programs that just help us develop our character and personality and spiritual values, the values of our lives.
Any particular event that you can think of that comes to mind?
Oh, jeepers. Well, yeah, Christmas Eve, when I first found UU at Warner Road. The instant I walked in to this beautiful candlelight service, and there was a small orchestra playing. Kelly was leading music, and it just, I knew I was home. I had found the place I needed to be.
Good. Okay. Barbara, have you had the opportunity to share? Barbara Faye. Okay, never mind. Kama, can you hear me? Have you?
There we go.
Muted, I think.
Have you had an opportunity to share? Were you in another room and you had another opportunity to share?
No, I had a series of technical malfunctions.
Okay. Go ahead. What memories do you have of VUU that stick with you as the most positive?
A lot of them are surrounding faith formation, whether it's classes my kids have been in. I used to be part of a congregation that was a bit smaller, and it was hard to hold all classes outside of just the high school class. So that being something that could be done. But also the adult classes. There was, I can't remember what it was called, but it was about the Divine Feminine class that I took that was really wonderful. And so the services are great, but it's the faith formation classes that really have stuck with me more.
Good, thank you. Let's see. Anybody else has not had an opportunity to share that wants to share? Now we're going to go to the second question until we get run out. Okay, so the second question, what do you most value about this congregation? The bunch has already taken her turn with that. What activities or ingredients or ways of life are most important here? Kama had some of that. What are the best features? Now, having said that, Rich Bittner, how would you respond to that question?
Heads up, by the way, breakout rooms are closing here in a moment.
Muted.
Sorry,
Unmute.
we're muted.
Yeah.
Not an easy question, because I would just come up with three things: the religious education, the music, and social action. And it's hard to leave out the sermons. But
Okay, Mary Jo.
Well, I can build on what Rich said. I would agree with him. Those are all critically important, but also the just the community, the friendships, the community, the opportunities to know like-minded people.
Okay, Angela, can you hear me?
Yeah.
And what special quality for you is important to you?
What do you like best about the church? Oh, going there. She likes going there, and she likes the song. I agree with what Rich already said, so I don't have anything
All
more.
righty then. My mic is live. Well, guys, we've already learned a great deal. One thing we've learned is that it's really hard to do assigned breakout rooms for a group this size. And so we're going to be having to change gears a little bit when we go to the second part, but I want you to pause for a moment. You were all engaged at some level and wanted to take part.
We actually, when I closed the rooms, it left the names of the people
Okay,
in the rooms that they were in.
there we
All I
are.
had to do was reopen them.
So we're going to reopen the rooms in a moment. You'll go back to exactly the same rooms we were in. Zoom doesn't always tell us everything we need to know until we need to know it. But I want you to think, were you excited by what you said and what you heard? Did you hear something of value going on in the stories, the moments, and the memories? Can you see how those things connect across moments to your family, your work, your past, your present? But what's important is, what were the feelings? Pride, relief, gladness, all those things that brighten up our days. We already deal with so much difficulty. We look for those bright moments, those sparkling moments, those flickers and flames that make each day worth seeking and living. And that's what we were looking for. So what I want you to do is think about those moments you've heard and shared. I want to go to the next piece of music that Katie's arranged for us, and then we'll go back and we'll try to name the things we heard in a more distinct way. So, Katie, if you're available, can you help us be together in music in a prayerful way?
Absolutely. I mean, as we are sharing with one another what means most to us about VU, we just had to do our most beloved hymn, which many of you know is Blue Boat Home. So let's sing together Blue Boat Home.
Standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never on board have I known the wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I fly the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the light of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, grieve the infinite sea before me,
No wonder you love that hymn. What's not to love? Of course, I'm old enough that I remember the tune as Hail the Great and Glorious City. But the tune can carry many meanings. And that's exactly the point of what we're doing today, that the tune that is Unitarian Universalism, that is VUU, can hold many texts, many words, and they will all fit. And all of your stories, they fit too. And that's what we're going to do next. We're going to do something that's a little harder, not technically, because you're going back to the same groups we had so much effort trying to put you in. And I want you to work together now. Now we're going beyond appreciating the differences to looking for the unities. Return to your breakout room, and you'll try to lift up the things you found in common. To make it easy for you, you're going to make a list if you can, no more than 5, perhaps as few as 3, maybe only 2, that answers this question. At VUU, we value, and there's a blank space there. It can be a word or a phrase. Try not to wordsmith it. We're not trying to create a resolution or a constitution.
Okay.
Name something of great value. This is not the end of the work. It truly is the beginning. It's okay to be general. It's okay to be poetic. When we come back, you will have created aspirations, hopes, beliefs, commitments that we will gather from the facilitators, and I and the transition team will share them with you in the weeks to come as we try to articulate your most deeply held and cherished values and those things that transcend every moment. Thank you for sacrificing your expectations of worship today. No great sermon, not even a bad sermon. It was just us doing this work. But in a sense, this is more worship than the other services, because what we are doing is truly what the word worship means. It means to shape worth, to form it. And that's what we're doing. So I would take a deep breath. And with a sweep of the magic baton that is Zoom, we're going to send you back into your rooms, and you're going to answer the question no more than 5 times. At VUU, we value, fill in that blank. And we'll see you in between 10 and 15 minutes. Go! Make it so.
If you were in the main room last time, you might want to stay here because that was a good solution for a lot of you.
I've made it so people in the main room can unmute themselves as well.
Hey, Libby and Blake, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's Bert. Did you ever assign me Rebecca's room?
Yes, there's a room that has your name on it. Do you want me, where are you listed as?
In Linda Horton's room, I guess. I'm in a main room right now.
Oh no, are you Roberta's iPad? You're in the main room. Let me put you in your room.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so I hit join, huh?
It was.
Yep. You know, without Linda, we might have, I just realized, lost a facilitator for the main room.
Well, so I'm gonna answer the question, and I need to go, but I was just what makes me great is the tolerance and the acceptance and the social justice. I think those are what make so many things that make it great. And Chloe.
Thank you. How about anyone else that's here? I think everyone should be able to unmute themselves. Anyone else that would like to share? Irene, it says your group might have thinks you abandoned them. Let's see.
That breakout room also contains Joel Sanis, for what it's worth, the one that's named Irene Rosenthal. I think Joel is gonna facilitate also.
Yeah.
Hi, I was facilitating a group and I didn't get put back with them. So I'm not sure what to do or where they are.
Yeah, it says you're still in the group, but you're just not joined. I think I might need to like reassign you to it. Joel Sanis is in the group and he's a facilitator, so they still have. All right, so what I'm gonna do is invite you to a group, but don't accept that immediately, because I'm gonna read it.
I had Gary Klesper and Jerry Waters and another person, a man named Jerry with a G, who I didn't know before. That was the whole group, and I don't know where they are.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I see where it is. All right, I'm putting you in that room right now.
Should I accept that one?
Yes. All right, I found
It
I
says
found it
it's
for you.
joined Denise McLeod. Is that right?
That's the room. That's the room.
Okay, ciao for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Blake. We went to the again, and there was nobody else there.
We were assigned to Linda's leftover room at the very end, Linda Horton.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was also in Linda's room at the.
Yeah, Linda disappeared from the main room this time, so we're gonna be a little facilitatorless here. So we're gonna kind of get to do what we did last time.
Can you put us in Carl's room where we were supposed to be? Some reason when you put us in there, there's nobody else where we go.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, okay, it looks like Carl's room. Carl's not in his room. Where did he go?
He wasn't there before either.
At least where we went.
Nobody
Okay.
was.
Oh, gotcha.
Carl's in the room where Linda Horton is.
Okay. All right. So
He wasn't there last time.
okay, yeah, he is in Linda Horton's room. Okay. So we have 2 facilitators in that room and no facilitators here. This is great. Okay. I can't bring anyone out of a room though. It doesn't give me that option to bring anyone, to unassign people. Interesting. Okay.
You could send them a chat and ask them to leave their room.
That's a good idea. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I can't. I can only broadcast a message to everybody.
Oh.
Interesting. So you kind of soft, like there's a wall somewhere, but I can't send a private message either. Okay.
I think if you went into their room, you could, but you don't want to go into their room probably.
Right.
That might make things kind of weird. Okay. Is anyone familiar with what the second question was? Because I had it, I saw it in the chat, but I lost it. I can't find it now.
I think we're supposed to list words or phrases. I don't know if phrases count, but words that we connect with or we value at VUU. So what words we value?
I heard
This
emotions.
is about deciding our values. Sorry, go ahead.
I heard both emotions and values on the list of things that we could list.
So we can do both.
it looked like the intent was to take notes, and I'm happy to take notes and send them wherever they're supposed to go, if I'm told where they're supposed to go.
Got it. So we can spark our own discussion here then, and start brainstorming values, I guess, right? Is the point here.
Yeah. Diversity was one thing that came to my mind. We certainly.
Go
ahead.
A phrase I thought of a long time ago was a group of friends I can look up to.
That's
all I got.
Closely tied to what Jim just said, I would say community, a sense of community, welcomeness, if that's a word, being welcoming.
Yeah.
I thought of the power of community just as a kind of a broader term. And also I think one of our key values is the critical importance of the democratic process.
A theme that comes up a lot in here is interdependence, which is the difference. You know, there's independence, which is all about me. There's dependence, which is all about you, and then there's interdependence, which is all about us. And it seems like such a healthy reversal of mindset over the other two, and that's something that I get here.
I also see the open-mindedness, the interest in I'm thinking of like the middle schoolers who are studying world religions this year, or faith paths or traditions that are not, I don't want to use typical, that's not quite right, but sort of the openness to looking at various ways of seeing the world. As someone who tends more towards an earth tradition or nature sort of practice, you don't see that in most places, and so I really appreciate that.
And obviously the whole social justice idea, caring for the world we live in and society and issues and solving problems and that kind of orientation.
Yeah.
Which is part of the interdependence that Blake just talked about.
Right. It's not just us.
Right.
Yeah.
Or the power of love, as the song goes.
Oh yeah. And the book, the children's book we just heard today, the whole love aspect is a big word. Exactly.
Can anybody hear our dog snoring?
No.
Oh, good.
I don't know what word it would be, but something that relates to how we include our children, bringing children into, letting them be part of everything. They come into the service, they know what we're about. We try to have them understand broader than just their little classroom situations. Orientation to our youth and children.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of its own kindergarten, in a way. It's broader though. It's because he hits you like everyone up to 18 years old. It's like a kindergarten until you're an adult. A kindergarten in the root word sense, not in the literal sense, like childhood nurturing.
And in that inclusion of the kids, I really appreciate the fact that it respects their ideas and their input into things, which is, you know, not something that I saw growing up in a Lutheran church as much.
I did too, and I did not see that either, even back when I was in.
She always told me she got no respect.
Something else I was thinking of to send. Oh, the learning orientation. I think we are very much open to learning new things and kind of not just static. We're learning people. I guess the search for truth idea, but always learning.
There's the kind of free thinking aspect. There's not rigidity.
So flexibility in thought and practice.
I kind of had. Go on, Rich.
Okay.
We did pretty well for an ad hoc group.
Yeah. I was just about to say really quick, because I think people are going to start streaming in. I had the privilege of growing up as a UU, and people that I talked to who grew up in much stricter denominations or other theological situations. I just feel very privileged. It's lucky me that I didn't have to, be later in life and just discovering a lot of other spiritual views. So, lucky me.
Me too.
No, I'm sorry. I thought everybody was coming back.
Yeah, it's just a few short moments.
They're coming back now.
We're going to get better at this later.
I popped back in because my battery died on my iPad, and then I rejoined on my phone, and I lost my original group.
Oh.
So
You've
and now
joined
my
the leftover
phone's at
group.
12%. I didn't charge I should have. I wasn't. Oh well, it's okay.
Welcome to the island of misfit toys.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. We have a Christmas blow up that we put out on the front yard. It's of the
Now it's 20 seconds.
Here come folks.
Eileen,
Are
were
they
you
all
able
gonna
to
be
share
muted
in
when they
your
come?
previous group, or do you have
Yeah,
anything else?
very much so. Yeah, we were wrapping it up pretty much. We were going back to the first questions just because there was so much to talk about. So, yeah. Yeah, we got our words. We got more than 5. We were laughing because when do we ever stay within the parameters as you use? So.
Well, we got it down to 5, but we had, but ours are sentences.
That's
Well, I'm kind of guessing that a lot of you would have liked to have spent more time doing this, that you were
Fred,
rushed,
are you muted?
No, he's on. I hear him.
that you were struggling, but also engaged. And that's what we want. We want our spiritual community to be one where we are engaged, where we struggle, where we are looking for where we are and where we are going. That is the most spiritual thing we can do.
We had
Because this
a
moment, in some
very
way,
vivid
is the only moment we have. Now is the accepted time, said W.E.B. Du Bois over a century ago. The fierce urgency of now, said Dr. King half a century ago. And this week we felt the power of a single moment when a fragment of justice arrived in Minneapolis. And you have done something of a similar nature here today. You have given this moment more power by thinking about what matters most to this community, sharing it, trying to find the best way to say it. We make now powerful by endowing it with meaning that lasts beyond now. And so truly you have shaped worth today, made worship. And that will remain true tomorrow and next week and beyond. In some ways, this is the very best prayer we can offer. As I said, what you said to each other was noted by the facilitators, and I want to thank the 21 of them who volunteered, all of whom have done this before. Not every one of them was able to be a facilitator, but believe me, having you there was a great help to me and to everyone else. And they'll share all that they have learned today, and you will learn what you said from each other in the weeks ahead. But the thing we can do now to remind ourselves of who we are is to sing. And so my colleague in ministry, Katie, can you gather us to sing one final hymn as we conclude our most unusual service today?
Absolutely. Now is the time, the right time to plant the seeds of everything we shared, our core values, and lift them up so that we can shine our brightest. Shine together now, as Fred said, to remind us of who we are and to attract our future minister, that he will align with us. So let's join together in singing this next song.
This is I Am a Light by Robert Anderson, and we invite you to sing along. It's a call and repeat.
So where was the offering today? Well, you already gave it by sharing your experiences, your values, your treasure that is this community. Now, if you want, I'm more than delighted if you want to underline that offering with one that is financial, something of your strength by texting, clicking, or writing, because you see we need all three. Talk is cheap, as they say, but your labors, your person, your presence together help us do the work before us. So if you can, please do. As we prepare to return to the world for yet another week, we mark that passage by extinguishing the chalice. Even though the flame itself goes out, it continues to burn within us. So Mary Rothschild, lead us in extinguishing the chalice we see, but not the chalice within.
Gather your chalice close to you if you brought it out, and we'll say the extinguishing the chalice words. Though we extinguish the chalice, Our connection to each other and this community remains. May its light guide us this week as we walk the path of justice, speak words of love, and fill our world with compassion until we meet again. Now, please stick around for our normal breakout rooms so that we can chat with people who may not have been in the other breakout rooms. If you're new and you would like to meet with Reverend Wooden and other members, just decline the breakout room and stay where you are. And thank you all for your help with this service. It really did depend on you, and I'm glad to say you rose to the challenge, though I'm not the least bit surprised. Have a great week, and I hope to see some of you in a breakout group. Bye.